And welcome to Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi. Today's February 21st, 2014 edition of Truth Radio here on 990WBOB.com. And today, we at the last half of the show, we got a special segment, so two special segments with father of former U.S. Navy SEAL Team 6 member Michael Strange. His father, Charles Strange, will be joining us on the show, and he is going to come back for a second show. Today he's going to do an introduction, basically explain what happened, what Extortion 17 is, and about the Michael Strange Foundation, which is michaelstrangefoundation.org. And we're going to be joined by him in just a little while. But before we do that, we got tons of news, and I apologize for the little delays we're going to have today because my printer at the last minute, because I wait for the last minute for everything, and my printer went down and I couldn't print everything out, so I had to put the links up on my little laptop here. So I do apologize about the little delays and everything because we like to get the news moving quickly and fast along. And in studio here, we got our producer Sal and a good friend of mine, Kevin LaPrade. He's also one of my cameramen for my InfoWars news reports. And hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Great. How you doing, Dan?
Great, man. And if you want to chime in anytime, Sal too, just feel free to jump in. We'll talk about the news, the top headline news that took place during the week here. And we got a huge attack on the Second Amendment and the Constitution taking place. We got the FCC now targeting media outlets. Basically, they're going to be sitting in studios approving, or they say it's voluntarily, but basically approving and disapproving what goes out to the public. So, Obama millions of times how important the First Amendment was, he says, how important the freedom of the press was. But yet he sends his FCC goons to the media outlets to say what can and cannot, as if the media wasn't controlled already. We know that, the mainstream media. But, the goons are going to be sniffing around. And I'm probably, since we're a news organization here too, I'm sure the FCC is going to try to buddy their way into here too, which we're going to tell them to take a friggin' hike. And again, attack on the Second Amendment. New York Assembly SAFE Act, Democrats wanted to confiscate guns. Again, this is a big attack on guns. We talked about it last week, about, you're aware with the whole Michael Bloomberg attack on our Second Amendment. He's got mayors behind him. Which one of them is Angel Tavares right here in Providence, Rhode Island, attacking our Second Amendment. And what are your thoughts on that?
I think he's a scumbag, to be honest with you.
Oh, he is, and evidence that the gun control lobby's ultimate goal is to disarm law-abiding gun owners surfaced last year in a short video clip taken from New York State Assembly session prior to a passage of higher contentious SAFE Act. So they call it the SAFE Act, but yes, disarming, disarming honest citizens is the SAFE Act. You know what I mean?
Unsafe act.
Exactly. Go after the criminals. And you got the Rockefeller brothers. They got Pepsi behind the gun control grabbing agenda now. Report from Kurt Nimmo. Robert Fargo, writing a Truth About Guns, points out the Aspen Ideas Festival webpage promoting a 2013 talk of former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords and her husband, former astronaut Mark Kelly, in addition to the Giffords and her husband, building a movement to keep our communities safe. So take the guns away from the citizens is keeping our community safe. Are you a gun owner?
Yes, I am.
And so you're an honest citizen. I know you're a good guy. You have no criminal record. Taking your gun away, is that going to take guns away from the criminals?
No, not even close.
Yeah, it's just like, it's common sense. You take guns away from citizens, they can't protect themselves. Oh, they could call 911. All right, excuse me, Mr. Criminal, you just kicked in my door, and I got time to grab my rifle, but hold on 1 second. Hold on, before, you shoot. Hi, 911, yeah, I got a guy here. Oh, hold on, sir, hold on. I got a guy here, he's gonna shoot me, he's gonna rape me and my daughter right now, and he's gonna shoot the rest of my family. All right, hold on, sir, the cops will be here in a minute. Don't do nothing yet. And this is the idiot psychology of these liberals. Oh, take the guns away, take them, they're bad. So the criminals, like Dianne Feinstein, that stupid quote she had, about if a criminal sees somebody that's unarmed, he's going to lay down his weapon and turn himself in. I think she watched that, this old show decades ago called Fantasy Island. The plane, boss, the plane. So I think she still watches episodes of this Fantasy Island show.
It's like Joe Biden saying, oh, you want to scare somebody off your property? Go up to the balcony and blast a few off into the air. That'll scare them away.
Then you got Minneapolis Police Associations are suing the NFL over stadium gun bans. So, because the NFL, they're targeting the Second Amendment. You had Bob Costas after the Sandy Hook shooting, or how guns should be taken away, blah, 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 him giving his anti-gun speeches. And Bob, stick to damn football. He looks like Luke Skywalker on crack. I mean, he's got these bug blue eyes.
Actually, Bob, leave football.
Yeah,
please.
Get the hell out. I mean, go
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
And you got 2 Minnesota police organizations have sued the National Football League, claiming that a policy prohibiting guns in football stadiums violates a state law by infringing on the right of the duty cops to carry weapons. So basically, we're just getting to the headlines of these articles. We're not going to go through them all. It's too much. And basically, the headline saying that the NFL is preventing police officers from bringing weapons. So now, just to say, you had a couple of crazy, people, criminals that come in, not honest citizens, criminals, come into the stadium with guns, even though there's tons of cops, security, and everything else. They ain't got to do nothing. It'll be like London. There'll be a standoff for hours, and when they go after them with their little sticks, the bobbies, you can't do that, sir, because Dianne Feinstein said that everybody here's a knob. So Dianne Feinstein said you have to lay down your gun because you're going to do that because you're a good person, and you got to turn yourself in. And this is the mentality of these people.
Great work, criminal. Great work.
Yep, great work, pat on the back. And meanwhile, we're going to take the guns away from the honest citizens. And again, Bloomberg Group flips over the gun confiscation leak. Don Salazar reports this. 3 members from billionaire Michael Bloomberg's gun control coalition issued a retort defending their anti-Second Amendment efforts and counterfeiting. Poughkeepsie Mayor John Tazowski remarks that the group's ultimate goal is firearm confiscation from law-abiding citizens. Now, in this whole thing, this gun control grab thing, nowhere does it mention at all taking guns from criminals. All it mentions is limiting or taking away from the citizens. Isn't that unbelievable, man? These people call this helping society, helping your communities. How's that helping?
It's actually scary. It's quite scary.
Oh, it is. And, it's just disgusting. And they're saying, we were surprised and disappointed to see a recent op-ed Poughkeepsie Mayor John Tezak blatantly micro-characterizing the important goal of mayors against illegal guns. So this is the thing. That's the cover. Mayors against illegal guns. Illegal guns. So why are they attacking people with legal guns? How does that, right from the cover, mayors against illegal guns? I'm a gun owner, Kevin's a gun owner, I don't know if Sal is. We're legal citizens, we legally own these guns, so why is the mayors against illegal guns affect us? Common sense. I mean, you just got to bang your head against the wall sometime, man. It's just ridiculous. And this is the logic. The logic that these, I'm not saying all liberals, I mean, today's liberal gives the term liberal a bad name. A real liberal is like something like Thomas Jefferson. That's what a liberal was.
Classic liberal.
Yeah, and a liberal back then, a conservative back then, wasn't Nazi like they are today. It just makes me sick, and both parties are corrupt and disgusting. And
it's like Freedom Man just was talking about. He said everything's upside down, backwards, inside out, crooked. It's everything is. The entire system. Wild
Clyde, right here on WBOB, he's on tomorrow at 1, I think, noon, Wild Clyde. Tomorrow at noon or whatever, you check the listings, whatever, but he had a perfect example. He goes, what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right. He's exactly right on that. And what society says is right, it's actually wrong. And what society thinks and portrays as wrong is actually right. In most cases anyway, not all cases, but most of it. Then you had speaking of Constitution here, it was a video right on Infowars.com. Basically, they did a video of students failing to name any of the Bill of Rights, highlighting how woefully out of touch with U.S. freedoms and rights the youth of America has become. Students at UC San Diego failed to name any of the Bill of Rights when questioned by activist Mark Dice during a recent campus visit. Now, Mark Dice, he's a Western correspondent reporter for InfoWars. I'm the Eastern correspondent, and I've done Man on the Streets as well. And all the time, almost every one, I put something but the Constitution, Bill of Rights. And you should see these people, folks. I mean, the average folk, they cannot name the Bill of Rights at all. You ask them to name 2 Bill of Rights. They could get one right, or maybe freedom of speech or something, and they get the number wrong. Oh, it's a 4th Amendment or whatever. And when it's the first, and they can name all 52 players of the football team, but they can't name. And I'm not saying people are stupid, because it does take intelligence to name all 52 players of your football team, have stats from going for 20 years back, remember who won this and that, but it's unimportant. But we got to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to stick on the Constitution stuff, and we got to attack on the global warming, whole global warming fraud we're going to get into, and again, attack on the Second Amendment and the Constitution Bill of Rights, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Truth Radio with Dan Bidondi on 990 WBOB.com.
And again, we got a huge attack, an onslaught on Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, 4th Amendment, First Amendment at that. And again, we're going to get into how the FCC is attacking media outlets. And before that, we got speaking of guns from the last segment here, in light of all the attacks on guns, and this is what the mainstream media will not report. They'll put it, if it's a newspaper, so to speak, they'll put a little write-up in the back of the newspaper somewhere. And we got heat packing Detroit mom shoots at and scatters home invaders. There's a video on our InfoWars. Nick Gillespie, basically, this woman, the 3 intruders kicked the back door and entered the home, and the mother chased them out with the shotgun. And right there, folks, that alone avoided so much. I mean, God knows what these people would have done to this woman. And just say she had kids in the house, or I don't know if she did or not, but she defended her own life. They could have beat her up. They could have raped her. They could have done anything to this woman. They kicked the back door in the middle of a snowstorm. And watch the video. It's up on Infowars.com. Heat packing Detroit mom shoots and scatters home invaders. And that's that's one of hundreds of good news stories about guns that they don't want to tell you. They want to tell you one little thing happens. Oh, a shooting took place up in Woonsocket here. I guess it was a guy holding up the hospital. He wanted to commit suicide with a shotgun. And the story doesn't add up to me, but we're going to get to the bottom of that. But anyway, they'll plaster that. Oh, look, this is why we're going to take guns away from honest citizens. And it's supposed to be against illegal guns, but they're going after the legal guns. And it's just, it's unreal. And they don't tell about the real stories, folks, how guns every day, not once in a while, every day a gun saves somebody's life. Every day. And cops, you cops out there, I want to let you know, too, when they take the citizens' guns away, they're coming after yours, too. Because they don't want the police owning guns either, unless you're part of the military units. They want only military owning guns here in America. Just like the UK, and they want it just like over here, too. So, cops, if you're behind this gun-grabbing Nazi stuff, get away from it, because they're coming for your guns next. And it's ridiculous. And it's like so much stuff going on here. And speaking of, attack on the constitutional rights of First Amendment here, student forced to apologize for email and picture of Obama kicking a door because of racism. A student at McGill University in Montreal, Canada, was forced to issue a formal apology for email and a picture of President Obama kicking a door open, all because some students thought the image was somehow racist. Oh no, because anything you question Obama, you're racist. And I know this happens in Canada here. They don't really have the same rights as we do. But the thing is, don't think this is not going to happen here. How many incidents, Kevin? How many times that somebody posted something about Obama or about 9/11, the cops raided the house, like those former veterans, former Marine that came home.
Right.
And how many times does that happen? I mean, we could recite tons and tons of instances, and they're always attacking our civil liberties, folks. And
it's like the argument they have. The liberals will say, "Oh, every day, 31 or 32 people are killed by guns," but every day, a couple thousand people are saved by guns.
Yep.
So 32, 2,000. Well, I don't know what the number was. 136, maybe something like that. I mean,
well, it's a ridiculous odds. It really is. But the odds should be in our favor, which they are. But according to them, again, what's right is wrong. What's wrong is right. Up is down. Down is up. And now we got blackmail. Congress stalls legislation outlawing NSA surveillance. And Congress refused to act on the NSA reform legislation despite an overwhelming number of Americans expressing opposition to the agency's pervasive surveillance. And I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, like, you have Judge Napolitano. I mean, I love that guy. He hammers unconstitutional things. And especially the NSA. There's nothing constitutional about the NSA. And I know the NSA is listening, and they might not be listening directly, but I hope you're listening because you're a bunch of scum, and you think we're going to shut up. No, we're not. We're going to exploit every little thing about you. I'm going to bring whistleblowers on. I'm going to bring them all on. And I'm going to exploit everything about you, scum. The FBI, especially, how you like to bomb places, murder people. You're a bunch of criminal murdering scum. I mean, the TSA, the DHS, Homeland Security, and they want to put license plate readers on all police cars now. DNA fingerprints. I mean, the Homeland Security is utilizing the already federalized police departments to push their draconian surveillance on us with the NSA as well. And this is why we got to eliminate all these agencies. They have no authority here. They're unconstitutional. We don't need them. Get the hell out of here. And if you think we're going to comply with your orders, comply with your laws, you could kiss my butt, okay, because we're not complying with nothing. And now you got Oregon Community. Again, this is more attack on the Constitution. Community College prepares course in drone operations. And my buddy Michael Dallin, he's a new writer here for Infowars.com, reports about this. And again, the college course prepares courses in drone operations. And we got to move on quick because I want to get into the global warming crap. And this is it's just ridiculous, really is. And you got a Justice Group warns of Obama plot to put government monitors in newsrooms. Now, this is attack on the media. You got that, and why would the FCC ask newsrooms about their story selection processes? Now, let's talk about that for a minute, guys. Now, the FCC, what kind of authority do they have? I mean, they regulate things. You have to get your licenses through them, all that. But why are they coming into the newsrooms now to see what's going on?
I would say to control the last few that they can't control left. They only have a few that aren't with them, that don't tell everyone exactly what they want them to say. So I don't know, to regulate what they can't regulate, what's left.
Yeah, it seems like intimidation to me, Dan. It seems like they just want to be there. They want to be in people's faces in these newsrooms, remind them who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. And next thing, because we're in news, Sal is a producer here. I don't know if he's one of the owners, whatever. But anyway, this is going to probably affect us. Right now, it's voluntarily. But you know how it works in the government. It goes from voluntary. All of a sudden, they get their foot in the door, and then all of a sudden, it's mandatory. And there was no law in the first place to do it. Now it's mandatory. And do you fear that they're going to be coming in here next?
Well, I hope not. We're savvy on that kind of stuff. We would oppose that. Hopefully, everyone in the country, all the press especially, opposes that in this country. And like you said, it's just a matter of time before they just sneak in there, and before you know it, they try to make people believe that, hey, this is how it's supposed to be, and we have authority here, and they really don't.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it just puts a stomp on the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. If they're regulating it, or spying on us to say, it's just plain out ridiculous. And I want to move on quick. We got like a couple minutes to the next segment. We got Charles Strange coming on from Extortion 17. Basically, his son was a Navy SEAL member of Team 6 during the whole Bin Laden hoax. And I want to get to the discussion about this global warming, because you got John Kerry, climate change, world's most fearsome weapon of mass destruction, says John Kerry. The new mass destruction weapon of mass destruction is climate change, global warming. And Kerry says generates, and the thing is, this guy is a contradicting egomaniac. I mean, his jet alone, he went to a trip to discuss climate change. His jet alone burns 12 tons of CO2. And these articles here on Infowars, and it's just like ridiculous. And they promote this global warming fear. And again, I talked about it last week. It was some idiot from this college. I forgot the college on CNN here, talking about as it's shown videos from all over the country of record snowfall and everything else. He's no, global warming's a fact. That's why we have record high temperatures across the planet. Hello, as you're reporting, and the little type screen underneath the CNN is reporting temperatures from other countries, how they have record low temperatures, farms down in the south and climate countries losing crops over icing. And as this guy, as he's saying this, all this stuff is going on the screen. And guys at CNN, of course, they're all with this. Oh, yeah, and they don't cut him off, though. They won't cut him off. They're actually agreeing with them. Oh, yeah, he's right on that. You know, this is why we got to push the cap and trade, climate, all this climate change stuff, and the carbon tax and everything else. And then they dared to say there's scientific evidence, as Krautham, the president, pretends that this is all settled science. You know, and these guys are saying this is pure settled science. And you got Bill Nye, the science guy there, confuses the South Pole with the North Pole in the climate change debate. You know what I mean?
That was hilarious. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is. And did you see it?
No, well, I watched the Bill Nye Ken Ham debate, and that was pretty good. But no, I missed that second.
Wait,
Bill
what happened? I didn't get to see it.
Ken Ham, I think he totally handed him his butt. But you know, when you look at the liberals or the atheists or the whatever global warming enthusiasts online, they just say Bill Nye annihilated him. How? Ken Ham, they asked twice. They asked Bill two times, answer this question from the audience. Bill Nye had nothing. He said, I don't know what to answer. To which Ken Ham said, Bill, there was a book written about that, and he told him about the Bible.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can't mention that word, the B word.
Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah, you should be locked up because you're in a terrorist hate group on Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. If you don't blame me, folks, I mean, the Homeland Security automatically says Bible believing. The FBI's Project Megiddo classifies as terrorists, as Christians as terrorists. But this whole climate change, the thing is, these people know the stars, how they work. They don't tell you, and they say, "Oh, it's science." It's not science, folks. There's no science that backs up global warming. It's manipulated data. It's not science. What happens, this is what they don't want to tell you. Every 11 years or so, about the 11-year mark, we have a thing called a solar maximum. Every 11 years, the sun goes through a solar cycle. It heats up, it gives sunburst, and all kinds of volcanic activity happens on the sun. Now, it doesn't only just heat up the Earth, but the entire solar system as well. But within a year or two, it starts cooling back down again. Sure, we have record high temperatures for that, but it's nothing to do with CO2. Not at all.
You know what's funny, Dan? Why all of a sudden, with all these record snowfalls and freezing weather, it went from global warming to climate change?
Oh yeah, it's like saying we gotta go to break in a minute, but it's like saying all right, if climate change is real, folks, global warming is real. Thanksgiving, okay, when Thanksgiving comes, if it's real, you gotta preheat your oven 450 degrees. And now you put your turkey in it. An hour and a half later, you take the turkey out. It's going to be a block of ice because global warming is real. That's how idiotic they are. But folks, we're going to go to a break, and when we get back, we got Charles Strange from MichaelStrangeFoundation.org revealing the government attacking, killing our own Navy SEALs, folks. And this is horrifying, and we'll be back on Truth Radio. And folks, not only our Second Amendment's on attack, all our Bill of Rights are under attack. And speaking being under attack, in just about a minute or so, we're going to be joined by Charles Strange from Extortion 17. He's the father of Michael Strange. He was one of the Navy SEALs during that whole campaign, the Bin Laden campaign and operation, and how all these Navy SEAls ended up dead. And, I called it on the show. So did Alex Jones. He said that, unfortunately, the first rule of assassination is to kill the assassinator. You have somebody do a top secret mission or something, and especially if it's a fraud that, Bin Laden's been dead since 2001. And if they want to cover this up, they're going to kill the people who were part of the operation, the low-level people. Or low level to them. And, these poor guys, you join the Navy SEALs, you join the military, and you think you're fighting for war and freedom and everything else, and come to be, you're a guinea pig for the government. Or as Henry Kissinger said, that military men are nothing but dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy. So, folks, that's what your government thinks about you. And we got Michael Strange on the phone. And Michael Strange, how you doing, brother?
How you doing? My name's Charles Strange.
Charles Strange, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Michael Strange.
Yeah, Michael Strange is his son, the Navy SEAL team member. Charles, I'm sorry. And you got Extortion 17 here. You first of all, you want to give a brief introduction and explain exactly what happened, and explain about Extortion 17 and so on. And they definitely promote Michael Strange Foundation, folks. MichaelStrangeFoundation.org. These people need help financially because there's a lot of which Charles is going to explain here. And Charles, you got the floor.
Thank you. My son's name was Michael Strange. He was CTR1. He was a cryptologist, code breaker. He was part of SEAL Team 6 Gold, the most elite team in the world, for 4 years. Michael called me in April of 2011, about the 15th, and said, Dad, I ain't going to be talking to you, no cell phone, no nothing. I said, what's going on, Michael? He said, I can't talk, Dad. He never gave up the tapes, unlike some of our other people. Anyway, May 1st happened. He came home in June 2011. It was his birthday, June 6th. And for the first time in almost 8 years, Michael grabbed me by the arm, and 3 times, and he talked about a will. Michael never talked about a will. And he left 4 days early to go back to his house in Virginia. And all of a sudden, August 6th, 2011, the Navy came to my door, four or five guys, and told me my son was killed in the helicopter called Extortion 17. People, if you never heard of it, please Google Extortion 17. It was the biggest loss of life in the Iraq and Afghan war. 30 guys, plus 8 Afghans, and Bart the Warrior Dog, who was trained by John Dugandero. 30 of our men, they told us he got hit by an RPG August 6th, 2011. 22 were special ops from the dev group. That is the biggest loss.
Oh, yeah, and I seen pictures of your son. I mean, your son looked like a strong, well-minded man. And, you know, and for him to talk about a will and all that, that tells you that he knew. Obviously, he couldn't tell you because of classification, but I think he knew something that, you know, of course, he knew something that he wasn't allowed to say. And, you know, that right there, that would send a red flag in my head right there. And I know it did to you. And him talk about wills and everything else. And how old was your son? In his 20s, right?
25.
Wow. He's still like almost a kid, you know. And it's unbelievable for a 25-year-old to start talking about wills. And that must have been horrifying. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that for these Navy men to show up at your door with this bad news. And it's unbelievable. It really is. And my heart goes out to you and your family.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a nightmare every day. It's every day you think of them. Every day your heart drops. You know, it's, you know, nightmares, dreams. He was just sitting here. You know, in June, when he was here, he came over with his brother and 2 girls, and then called me back up. He was at the bar, and he grabs me outside the bar talking about this will. And, you know, and then August 6th, they tell me my son's dead. Here, all 22 of them guys knew somebody was leaking something to somebody. One guy used to smack his dad in the belly. Yo, Dad, don't drink all the beer. I'll be home in 3 months. This time he puts his hands on his dad's shoulders. I love you. Thanks for the way you raised me. Another guy told his wife and his brother, I don't know about this next mission. Something's going on. They just didn't know how high up it went.
Yeah.
And somebody, you know, gave the tapes to, I believe, Karzai and then the Taliban. A guy named Quarry Tahir, and the object was Lefty Grove. August 6th, you know, the nightmare, they told me the helicopter blew up 3 times. It blew up in the air twice, and then when it hit the ground, it blew up a 3rd time.
That sounds like explosives to me.
Well, that's what it sounded like to me, too, my friend. You know, they said he was already cremated. And, so, you know, you figure he's cremated.
So they didn't give you an option of cremation? They just cremated him without telling you?
They said, nah, they said he was already cremated. The fire was so bad from it blowing up 3 times. And then in December, 4 months later, I called Dover. I asked for the autopsy report. They mail it up to me, and they send me a disc. And while I'm looking through the papers, I'm remarried to Michael's stepmom. She's looking at the disc. But I'm looking at the papers, no smoke in his lungs. Ribs are all right, spleen's okay. I'm like, what? I said to her, what's up? She's like, well, I said, what do you mean, well? They said in the Pentagon paper, Navy Captain The last name's Lapman, Lapan, in the Pentagon paper, and the other person was Campbell, speaking for the Pentagon. 38 skulls, 38 C-spines burnt beyond recognition. So I look at this disc my wife has in, and my son's laying there with it looks like a gun in his hand, and he wasn't burned at all.
Huh.
You could see the hair on his arms. The only thing bad on Michael was his ankle. So,
yeah, because the hair would be the first to burn.
Yeah, October 12th, 2011, they had us all come down the dam neck. A guy named Brigadier Jeffrey Cole did the investigation over there. And so we go in this theater thing. All the big wigs were there, all the 4 stars, all the parents. They have a screen up, and he's walking back and forth telling us what happened. So I raised my hand. I asked for an after-action report. And he said, "It's in the book, sir." And then he said, I asked him another question. He said, "It's in the book, sir." And he's talking, and I said, "What happened to the black box, which is really orange?" And he raised both hands, and he said, "A flash flood came and washed it away." There hasn't been a flash flood there since Noah had an ark. And you can Google that, too. August 5th, 6th, there was no flash floods in Afghanistan. Tangine Valley's where my son got killed. All 30 of them guys.
Yeah, because in Afghanistan, they have drought problems most of the time. A flash flood, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right. So I come home, I look at this book, and they gave us a disc in a folder. I open the book up, there's no ink, there's no toner. You can't read it. I call up the command. I said, "Yo, I got a bad copy here." They said, "Mr. Strange, we got a lot of complaints about that." I said, "All right, send me another one." He said, "We can't. We burned it." You burned it? So you put this disc in, and 100 little blocks pop up. And you click it, you got to click it 3 times. Then it opens up, and you can read like 4 sentences, then it's real blurry. It's not deleted, but it's real blurry. I'm like, "Oh, we got to do something. And Michael's stepmom said, "I know what to do." And she took it somewhere, figured it out through the maze, and printed out 1,364 pages.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the other parents told me they were going to ask for that disc back the next day, but they didn't want to ask all the parents back for it. And that's when I started reading. And there was questions in there, like the guy that did the investigation, Jeffrey Colt. He says, "Didn't the red flag go up, putting all 30, there was 38 guys on the helicopter. Didn't you put the red flag go up, putting all the guys in the same helicopter? There were 7 Afghans on the helicopter. 5 minutes before it took off, they got off, and 7 different ones got on. And they don't know the names of them. Their names weren't on the manifest. The military even went as far to tell us that they had to call the Afghan people up and tell them they had the wrong people. Nobody knows who the 7 Afghans were."
Well, I'm a pilot myself, not for the military, but I mean, I do know in aviation they are very extremely strict on manifest, and because of weight issues, especially with a Chinook helicopter. I mean, because people have different weights and all that, cargo and everything else, and and especially in the military, of all places, they would have that thing to a T. I mean, that helicopter wouldn't you be able to leave unless it's emergency, but wouldn't you be able to leave without a proper manifest?
Right. Who okayed that? Here's one for you. General Colt says to the Air Force commander, he goes, "Did you ever do a mission like this?" The guy says, "No, we never did a mission like this," meaning that they never dealt with SEAL Team 6, IRF, Immediate Reaction Force. He goes, "Well, why didn't you have a satellite on them? There was 4 cameras, eye in the sky." I'm not military either, sir. And he goes, "Sir, it made us feel very vulnerable doing it. We never did a mission like this. We had 2 over here, 2 over there." And Colt says, "Well, why didn't you have one on Extortion 17? And he says, "Our hands were tied from up above." I'll send you over the paperwork. I'll email it out over to you. I don't know if I got a chance to email that part to you or not.
Yeah, because we're going to have you back on with your friend there, and because I haven't got time to look over all the documents you sent me and everything else, and But we're going to go to break in a minute. So when we get back from the break, we'll get more into detail of what's going on and explain more about Extortion 17 and all that. But stay right there, Charles. We'll be right back on Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi. And we are back on the Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi. And before we get back to Charles Strange, I want to get into the quote of the week, folks. And this is by George Orwell. And this is also promoted on MichaelStrangeFoundation.org. It's, "We sleep peacefully in our beds because rough men stand by to visit, violent on those who would do harm on us." And this is by George Orwell. And Charles Strange, how you doing? And you want to explain more about Extortion 17 here? And
sure, I need everybody in America to, check out Extortion 17. They have an Extortion 17 Facebook. But if you Google Extortion 17, you'll see pages. And it was the biggest loss in America, biggest loss ever. 22 special op guys, and it's brutal, man. It's and there's no. We're supposed to start our hearing this Thursday at 10 a.m. down in Washington. A special investigation, and it should be on C-SPAN. We have a few major radio stations coming, and we need all the support we can get. I mean, this is 30 brave men, 30 of our bravest guys, 22 from the most elite team in the world, that they put in a Chinook helicopter from 1960, refurbished in 1985. I mean, who made the call? David Petraeus left 10 days after my son got killed. Admiral Eric Olson left 2 days after my son. Admiral Mike Mullen, 4-star, he left. General Votel, he got moved, 4-star. Where's the report on all these admirals and generals leaving August 2011? Where's the answers? Who leaked it? The Taliban were sitting there waiting, my man. Waiting. They knew. They bragged over the internet a half hour after the helicopter went down that it was SEAL Team 6. They bragged over the internet.
Wow.
It's documented. And there was another helicopter behind them. I mean, trailing pretty far behind. But why would you put all your eggs in one basket? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And as a father, I'm and then my son was here, and then all of a sudden he's dead. My son jumped out of the helicopter. That's why he wasn't burnt. Here, 12 guys jumped out. They're only 50 to 100 feet in the air, and then nobody came in to help my son. So I go through them nightmares, and so do the rest of the parents.
So they left them there to die, so to speak, and of course they got to do everything they can to cover it up. And now, have you been under any government intimidation or threats?
Oh yeah, they told the other parents not to follow Mr. or Mrs. Strange. They threatened the parents that they told the guys that were married. Michael wasn't married. That if you go with Mr. Strange, them checks for your grandchildren could stop. Them checks that your daughter-in-law could stop. You believe that, dude?
Wow.
Are you with me? Are you ready to go down there and straighten some of these people out? How can you threaten somebody their son just died?
No, it is because you're asking questions because you have a mind of your own. You think logically, and you're asking questions, and they don't like that. They like robots that could just say, "Go along, do what we tell you to do, keep your mouth shut." But not you, because you're a strong person. You fight for what you believe in, and that's why they're gonna label you as a conspiracy lunatic, tinfoil hat person or something, just to because they don't want people to listen to your reasoning. Because the stuff you've been giving me so far, and again, I didn't get to see it all, but it's all fact. And if if this doesn't put a red flag in your head, there's something wrong with you. And this is unbelievable that in our own government. We had I don't know if you heard me earlier in the show how Henry Kissinger, he openly said that our military, he believes that our military nothing but dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy. That's what our government thinks of you military out there. To us you're heroes, but our government thinks you're nothing but a bunch of pawns. That's it. And it's unbelievable, Charles.
My son said to me, he said, Dad, you wouldn't believe what goes on in this country. I think really, like them dudes on SEAL Team 6, Michael's buddies, I think they were raised with a conscience. They were saying, you know, what's going on here, man? There's something bad. This ain't, you know. He didn't exactly tell me what, because they gave him a lie detector test every 2 months. And the first question they asked him when he gave him a lie detector test was, when was the last time you lied? You know what I mean? So they should have been giving themselves a lie detector test. The people that are giving it, there's something wrong here, man. You know, I met Barack Hussein Obama in Dover, August 18th, when all the bodies were coming in, and we were in a hangar. And Obama comes up to me, and he puts his arms on my shoulders. And he said, Michael changed the way America lived. And I grabbed Mr. Obama by the shoulders and started shaking him. I said, I don't need to know about my son. I need to know what happened. And then the Secret Service guys grabbed me, and I was crying, you know, snot's coming out. And all of a sudden, Obama came up to give me a hug. And I whispered in his ear. I said, is there going to be a congressional inquiry? And I could feel his lips touch my ear. He said, Mr. Strange, we're going to look into this very, very, very deep. And he never got back to me.
Wow.
And then, like, 15 minutes later, Leon the Snake Panetta came up to me. You know what he said? Are you sitting down, my friend?
Yep.
This is the Secretary of Defense. You know what he said? I'm going to ask the same questions. I said, you motherfucker, you're going to ask the same questions. Excuse my language.
That's all right.
And I started cursing him out, and then the Secret Service guys took me outside and gave me a bottle of water and a cigarette. You know. But that's when the other parents started speaking out, too, you know. Like, who were the Afghans on there? You know. What happened to the AC-130 fighter jets? You know what I mean? They were moved away.
Support nothing, and you know, that's the thing. You can't ask questions of these people. And Obama, his thing is he just wanted to, blow smoke up your ass, so to speak, just to pacify you into your left. And he's not going to do an investigation and all that. And the other reason too is we think because the Navy SEAL team with the Bin Laden thing. And there's a lot of questions on the validity of the whole mission. And I think, again, they wanted to take all the people, the low-level people, not that he's saying they're low-level, but, the people not in the higher-ups, but the low people who were part of the mission, take them all out of the equation so nothing would get leaked out to the press and stuff about the truth of what happened at that mission and everything. And that and plus other stuff. And, like, when your son told you there's a lot of things going on in the government, I mean, he's not kidding. I mean, you're aware of it now, but a lot of people don't understand that. There's stuff that's going on that the general public, if they were aware of, if the whole public in this country was to become aware of what was really going on in this country, there would be a revolution tomorrow.
Yeah. I go up to a bus stop, right? I see 15, 20 people up there. I'm a talker, you know what I mean? I'm from right in the city of Philadelphia, and, neighborhood guy. And I'll go, what do you think about that Bin Laden raid, man? And the people will go, yeah, we got him. And then I'll go, but nobody ever seen him. And they'll go scratch their head. They go, yeah. They put him in a They put him in a rug and threw him off the ship. I said, yeah. They go, what do you think? It wasn't him? I said, I don't know. Nobody's seen him. What do you think? Why would they do it like that? You know?
Oh,
so
look
the
at
word
Gaddafi.
has to get out there about things like this.
Look at Gaddafi.
The word has to get out there about all the heroin that's coming into our country.
Yep. Oh, yeah, the CIA running opium and all kinds of drugs into the country. Yeah, nothing gets said about that. And look at Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi and all these guys. When they were killed, there was pictures and videos all over the free world. And not one picture, not one video of Osama bin Laden. And the whole Middle East, I got a call that night from a friend of mine who lives in Pakistan, not too far from where it took place. The Al Jazeera news was there. They were laughing because the whole Middle East, what are you talking about? He's been dead since 2001, December. He died of food poisoning. Bhutto, the former prime minister of Pakistan, she was on, I think it was Larry King or something, in 2004, explaining how he was killed and everything. And our government went on record a couple of times to say, hey, he was killed. And that's why the whole free world was laughing at the United States. What are you talking about? He's been dead. And they had to hush this whole mission mission up, and I believe that this death here, because we called it, Alex Jones called it too, and that they're going to go after all the Navy SEAL Team 6 members and dispose of them because they don't want none of this information leaked out.
Yeah, I don't, that's why I'm asking questions, my friend.
Well, never stop asking questions, and you're doing a good thing, and you got our support here, and we're going to definitely bring you back on. We'll get together on the phone and talk more about that, and because I want to get a good story with all these articles and stuff you sent me and everything. And we got about a minute and a half, Charles. You want to plug your website and anything else you want to plug?
MichaelStrangeFoundation.org or Michael Strange Facebook. You'll see a 3-minute video. We brought 14 parents, Gold Star parents, 3 of them from SEAL Team 6, and all over the country. We fly them in for a weekend with 4 paid grief counselors just to try to help with the grieving. We had 15 volunteers. Anybody that can make a donation, we got PayPal on there. We got T-shirts for sale, SEAL Team 6. And, we lost 289 here in Pennsylvania. The Iraq and Afghan war, we lost over 7,300 now. Post-traumatic stress is 1 a day. These guys coming home are killing themselves. And I believe it's 78,000 came home with no legs and no arms, fighting for us. And please, anything you can do, call Jason Chavez, Congressman Chavez, and Darrell Ice's office, any congressman. Ask them, Extortion 17, this Thursday, you going to be there? These families want to know what happened. These families need some answers. We need somebody to be held accountable.
And Charles, you're a hero, man. Because you're standing against the grain, you're standing up, and you're not bowing to intimidation. And I admire you for that. And I encourage all the parents that might be listening to any of these Navy SEAL guys or anybody that's undergoing any of these threats, do not bow to threats. Take the lead from Charles and fight. And because the truth must be told, and the truth will be told. And Charles, again, I want to thank you for coming on. We'll have you back on again shortly, and I'll be in touch with you during the week, Charles. God bless you, brother.
Okay. Thank you, and check out C-SPAN Thursday.
C-SPAN Thursday, thank you.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.? So
yep.
C-SPAN Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, thank you, Charles. God bless.
Sorry for your loss, brother.
Thank you so much for having us on. Thank you.
God bless. And we got about 30 seconds left, not even. I just want to tell everybody out there who's in the military, everybody out there who's thinking on joining the military, or if you have kids in the military, it's not the same military no more, folks. I mean, this is one of many stories that I personally are working on. I got friends who were victims. I mean, it's enormous, the stuff that the military does to people. And God bless all you people in the uniform. And we need a revolution. We need a new military. We need a new government by the Constitution of the United States of America. We need to push that and support it 110% and get rid of these damn criminals out of Washington, Congress, the whole thing. We need a basically plain out douching of the whole system, period.
Amen, bro.
And this is Dan Bidondi for Truth Radio Show, and we'll be back, God willing, next week. God bless.